2021 to order. I'm going to ask Sarah if you would call the roll. I think we have a couple members running a little bit behind, but if you'd call the roll to identify who's present this morning.
Beckius?
Here.
Bowers?
Here.
Shore?
Here.
Mess?
Here. Okay.
I saw Roma stepped in, she stepped back, so I expect her to come in any minute.
All right. I think both the other members will be joining us shortly. Very good. This meeting of the City of Lincoln, Lancaster County Railroad Transportation Safety District, commonly referred to as the RTSD, is subject to and adheres to the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Open Meetings Act is available for an inspection and is posted by the entrance to this room. The RTSD agenda and all the materials that are being considered at today's meeting were posted on the RTSD website Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. The RTSD website is also accessible by links from both the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County official government sites. In addition, Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021, the meeting agenda was posted on the city and county bulletin boards located in City Hall, first floor, 555 South 10th Street. A copy of the agenda is also available at the entrance to this room. One copy of the meeting agenda and all the materials being considered today are located at the dais, and complete copies of these materials are available on the RTSD office at 949 West Bond Street, Suite 200. With that, we will move on to item number 2, or no, we've done that. Item number 3, approval of the minutes.
Move approval. Second.
Yeah, we have a motion. We have a motion and a second. Motion by Edmondson, second by Shore. Please call the roll.
Edmondson?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Mess?
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 4, report of statement of financial activity. Mr. Rhodey.
Thank you, Roger. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterly report on the financials. And I'm Ron Rhodey from the Lancaster County Budget and Fiscal Office. And we support the RTSD in the accounting endeavors. So I think it's important to point out at this time that we pulled these numbers on November 18th, 2021, and we pulled them a little bit early because that gives us a little bit of time to put all these financials together and the investment information. So as of November 18th, 2021, we were at 38% of the fiscal year completed. So keep that percentage in mind as we go down the list. And again, we've divided this up into 3 different segments. We have number 1, the receipts. Number 2, the disbursements, and number 3, the cash and investments. So we'll hit the first one with the receipts first, and we call this year fiscal year 22, by the way. Our actuals for November 18th for the receipts on the tax receipts was $1,564,361 on a budget of $6,020,000, which represented 26% of the taxes collected for the RTSD. The project cost reimbursements miscellaneous, right now we're at $227,472. I think Roger and I were pretty conservative when we budgeted for this. This is Lincoln on the Move, some tax receipts, and we receive those, I believe, on an annual basis. So we project, I think, that we're 100% received there. Investment interest income, I think we were probably a little bit liberal on that estimate. Well, as the economy heats up, the interest rates go down. Right now, we're at 22% of our budget, which is $80,000 budget, and received $17,350. So on the revenue side, we've received $1.8 million on a budget of $6.1 million, or 30% received. Also, keep in mind, as we do these receipts and disbursements, we work on it. Some of this is seasonally based, so disbursements and some of the receipts are based on seasonal receipt and disbursement as well. So keep that in mind. Number two, the segment is disbursements. And the first segment is commissions, refunds to state of Nebraska. We're at $30,848 expense on $116,000 budget, so 27% spent. Operating costs, we're at $13,947 on a budget of $104,900, so that's about 13%. And then, of course, the large construction project costs were at $289,099 on a budget of $1.6 million, or 18% expense. Total disbursements, $333,894 on a budget of $1,843,055, or 18% expense as of November 18th. The third segment is I also want to mention on the disbursement side, and I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but when I came into this position about 2 years ago, Roger has a good process in place. I think there's about 3 or 4 levels of approval when it comes to disbursements. Mr. Jarina, who's here from HB, our audit firm, will probably back us on that as well, because we have Roger approved, we have Mr. Vest, and then myself, and then it actually goes to the treasurer for final payments. So we have several layers on the disbursement side. Then getting into the cash and investments, the main thing to point out here is that we have ending cash balance of $736,777. We believe that is good and liquid so that we can take care of some of the obligations coming up. And then our investment income is $14 million, or not investment income, investment balance is $14,848,358. The final segment breaks down that investment by money market and by CD. So that's our total financial reporting as of November 18th, 2021. Any questions?
Yeah, we're doing the financial report here. I don't know, are we commissioners or council people? What exactly are we?
Board
when we're
members.
here? Board members, okay, we'll go with that. Any questions,
I
board
guess-
members? Deb?
I'll ask one. Looking at the money market and the, almost 4.5 in there, I know that is, those funds are utilized for large, upcoming expenses. Is that a normal amount to keep, that liquid for, and maybe that's a Roger question.
What was the total number?
You're
Oh, I was just
Investment?
looking at the funds we have in the money markets, which I would assume is,
14.8 million, Deb? Is that what you're referring to?
right, I was looking at the institutional breakdown, I'm sorry.
No, great
Wasn't very clear.
question, Commissioner Shore. And we, in my 2 years of doing this, that's about the highest we've seen our investments right now. And I think they're preparing for some larger disbursements coming up. We have about $700,000 liquid in cash to take care of some of the current obligations coming up. I don't know, Roger, do you want to expand on any large projects coming up?
We're
I know
going-
our levy increased.
Ron,
Yeah.
just let me add that you're right, you're absolutely correct. This is a buildup that we've been doing in anticipation of going forward at 33rd and Cornhusker.
Yeah.
Massive project, a lot of federal approval needed, but we have to start accumulating funds before. So I would say the number's higher than I've ever seen it. And the reason is we're anticipating construction, which we'll learn more about later,
Yes.
so.
Good point, Chairman Vest. I know before I came into this position, they dispersed about $10 million for the South Beltway 3 or 4 years ago. So they're building up, like Mr. Vest mentioned, is for the 33rd and Cornhusker and some larger items coming up. Good question, County Commissioner Shore.
Yeah. Broma, did you? No. Jane, good morning. I like your mask. All right then. If there's no further questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the report of financial activity.
Move to approve the report of financial activity.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Beckius,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Grable,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Beck,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, folks.
Rick, just because of the masks, we can't always hear well.
Okay.
And we can't see whose mouth is moving. So if you could-
We like it that way, yeah, it gives us a little cover.
Okay, so,
But if you, yeah, I'm sorry.
names.
That was
we make a motion.
Roma and James, if you had any questions. All
reminder.
right. Item number 5, report regarding current budget status.
Morning, board members. Roger Figert representing the RTSD. And Ron touched on some of that, but the attachment for the operating and capital budget I have up. As he said, we're about 40% through the year. In the O&M budget, we spent approximately 20%. Most of that being we paid for the audit and budget stuff that HBE completed for us. And about 40% or so on legal services. The city has not yet billed the city for superintendent services. I'd expect that to occur towards the end of this year, 6 months, so then we're right on track. In the capital improvements portion of the budget, we've expended about 18%, and that's 100% made up in the work that FHU has done, charged to miscellaneous engineering for the quiet zone study along Highway 2, and just under $250,000 to date for continued environmental and engineering on 33rd and Cornhusker. So we're right on track, and I don't have any concerns about where we are on the budget. I'd answer any questions you might have.
But just in looking at it, Roger, we have operating expenses, construction projects, and I guess the construction projects include money being spent on 33rd. That's where the biggest items are in the budget.
That's correct, yes.
247.
Do we anticipate that we spent 247,000 out of the million budgeted, so I guess we have a lot of expenses to prepare for construction.
Yes, in your previous comment, the $1 million we've been trying to do is budget what we think we will cash flow spend that year, and anything else we're continuing to save and store for getting into the actual construction or buying right of way on 33rd and Cornhusker. That's why those accounts have gone up. They're close to as high as they've been for quite a while after we paid off the $20 million to assist the city for the South Beltway.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Any other questions, board members? Let's all say it together. Construction on 33rd is coming. It's getting closer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Roger, then we'll move on to item number 6.
Yeah.
Report of project and crossing updates, where we're going to hear about.
First item is 33rd and Cornhusker, and Chris Humphrey is here, and I would like to say the RTSD agreement and the interaction with WSP and Chris has continued to work well, and she's continuing to do a good job as a project manager for 33rd and Cornhusker for us. So thank you, Chris. It's all yours.
And Chris, feel free to take your mask off if you'd like while you're
Okay,
speaking
you
to
can
us.
probably hear me a lot better. Thank you. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Since we talked last time, we've pretty much been coordinating with the Nebraska Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration, and those discussions have focused on pedestrian, bicyclist, and bus transit needs. So the main thing I wanted to update you on today was we have a public meeting coming up next Thursday, December 16th, from 5 to 7 at the Center for People in Need. The address of that is 3901 North 27th Street, so just north of 27th and Cornhusker Highway. And we're hoping to have a lot of people out and comment and talk to people. If you remember correctly, last June we were scheduled to have a public meeting, but due to the situation that became a virtual event. So we're looking forward to getting out and interacting with the public. And the purpose of this meeting is, I'm going to read this to make sure I get this terminology correctly. We're going to specifically seek feedback related to whether the RTSD's preliminary preferred alternative would meet a project purpose of improving connectivity and reducing the delay for pedestrians, bicyclists, and bus transit within the project area. That's one of our purposes of the project. So basically what that means is, are we making an improvement over existing conditions? And so since that's been the focus of our discussions of the last 3 or 4 months, I thought maybe I'd just run through the project website for you really quick. For those people that aren't able to make it out to the public meeting in person, they can go to the website and you can see all the information. And there's a couple questions at the end that we would love to have people's feedback on. So if you go to the project website, it's 33rdcornhusker.com. This is the main page that you'd see when you get to that website, and then you just click on the Learn More underneath the Public Open House on the right side, and then it kind of has some language here, and then just click on Meeting Materials, and then this will just run through, let's see, everything. So basically the purpose of the project, again, going back to improving the safety and mobility in the area, reducing the delays. And then there's a lot of nice graphics. And these, when you click on these links on the green buttons here, it'll take you to the displays that will be presented at the public meeting. And there's not going to be a formal discussion there. It's just an open house. People can come and go. But we do have a display for the existing conditions across the crossings. We also have the alternative that was posted last June. That alternative had a grade separated pedestrian overpass at 44th and Cornhusker. And then we have the current alternative that we're seeking feedback on compared to existing conditions. And so this basically leaves 44th Street crossing as it currently operates. So vehicles would be able, it's still open to vehicles. And we are improving the sidewalk to meet ADA regulations and then connecting the trail system to the neighborhood north of Cornhusker. And then over in the 33rd Street area, since the 33rd Street bridge is an actual bridge structure instead of a large multi-cell culvert, there's a new trail bridge that will cross Dead Man's Run, again, connecting to the trail system. So this is all on the website. And then I think I kind of like these pictures. These are 3D images of what it will look like. I think for this project, since it does dramatically change the way that people use the transportation network. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. There's some different graphic images of what this would look like. So this is the intersection of 33rd and Huntington. So East Campus is down here on the bottom part of the screen. And then traffic would be able to go up and over the railroad tracks and then touch down to an at-grade intersection again at about 31st and Cornhusker. And then Adams Street, of course, comes up to this elevated intersection. So there's 3 different 3D graphics that people can look at from different perspectives. But I think that kind of helps people visualize what's going to be happening in the area. And then again, if you keep on scrolling through the website, there's opportunity for feedback. And this is a really important component of the project, is to seek project feedback. And specifically for this meeting, I'm just looking for people's feedback on, is this an improvement over existing conditions? So.
Very good, thank you.
With that, I'm available for any questions.
Tom?
Chris, have any constituents been able to give you feedback thus far? I know it's a little early still.
Yeah, I have not heard of any feedback that we
Okay.
receive. And just to let you know, I am going to go talk to the Pedestrian Bicycle Advisory Committee next Tuesday morning, so we'll hopefully get some good feedback from that committee as well.
Yeah, the illustrations on the website, I think, will really help constituents be able to visualize what the preferred project will look like in a way that I don't think a lot of people have seen so far. So thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. James?
On December 16th, that's normally when I do my monthly town hall in Northeast Lincoln at Anderson Library. So what I think I might do is I might just invite those folks that typically go to my town hall and then just hang out with you guys for the entire time, if that's cool.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, awesome. I'll share more details later on, but it won't impact, anything that you're really doing. I'll just send the invite out to them and then invite folks over and just
Okay.
kind of be there myself, if that's okay.
Yep, that sounds
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Great questions. Anyone else? Chris, we
Okay.
really appreciate you being here this morning, and thank you so much for continuing on this project. It's as is obvious, it's a massive project.
Yeah.
And I know,
I-
very complicated.
Yeah, and this combined with the Dead Man's Run project that the Corps and the city are partnering, and the Lower Platte South NRD are partnering on, it'll make a big improvement. I'm really excited to see all this through, so.
And it's not our first public hearing. I think I was attending them before I was a county commissioner, quite honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure what number this is. It might be our 6th public meeting. We will have an official public hearing next fall,
Like meeting,
after
yeah.
the environmental document is through all the reviews with all the different agencies. So, and then we'll be able to move into final design and then right-of-way acquisition and construction. So
Construction, I heard construction.
Yes. So I'll get my plug in for that. So obviously, construction is the, most expensive item as part of this project, but right-of-way is, it's pretty expensive as well. And so we will be, as the Dead Man's Run project is progressing, and the Corps, as part of that project, is acquiring right-of-way, we might look for different opportunities depending on the different parcels and when they would need to be acquired. So that'll be happening over the next few years. Could potentially, if the Corps needs a property that also is needed for the RTSD project, coordinating with all the different agencies, looking for opportunities ahead of time. So again, maximizing the use of the taxpayer dollar. So.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you so much for continuing to
Yep.
move us towards construction.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, Roger, back just quickly. Quick update on the Southeast Lincoln Quiet Zone. We're in the second round of review between the legal departments and representatives between BNSF, OPPD, and the RTSD. We had an original document. We reviewed that with recommendations from our legal staff. We made some changes. It's been back to BNSF. They've reviewed it and is now, my understanding, over at OPPD for review. Slow, frustrating, but it is important that we follow through with the legal advice from Mr. Kudelek on that document. We'll just keep working on that. Once that document is signed, then we'll be able to go ahead and schedule and coordinate the diagnostic meeting where all of the appropriate staff and organizations would meet on site. That's FRA, railroads, NDOT, City of Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the RTSD must all meet and weigh in on the proposed improvements that would be required to create the quiet zone. I did not invite FHU to come today because there really wasn't much else for them to report. They've continued to do minimal expenditure and just refine the drawings and be prepared to receive this agreement. That's kind of where we are.
Yeah, Jane, please.
Roger, do you know when OPPD will get back to you, or when their legal team will review that? It sounds like that's the last little hurdle in getting the diagnostics scheduled.
No, and I'm guessing they will get back to BNSF first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then BNSF would let us know. I'm hoping fairly soon. I was able to meet with the Government Affairs Director for BNSF last week, and I will call the Government Affairs Director for OPPD after this meeting this afternoon and just follow up on that. Not to defend the railroads or anyone, but I am informed that the railroads and OPPD, like many businesses and companies, are experiencing shortfall of staff. My understanding is BNSF only has one attorney available to review these kind of agreements for pretty much the whole organization, or certainly this region. It's a tough time. We're all short-staffed, but they are trying to get it done as quickly as they can.
Okay, thank you.
If there aren't any other questions on the quiet zone, since the last meeting, BNSF has continued their major tie replacement and upgrades of the railroad tracks that parallel Cornhusker Highway and go all the way to Louisville. They came back through and did improvements again to 44th Street and to Adams Street. 33rd had been prepared before, but they continue to work and try to make those rails and crossings safe. We don't have, at this point, any other scheduled work that I'm aware of crossing-wise. So if there's some issues or problems out there, please let me know. I am trying to resurrect activity and interest from Union Pacific Railroad to do some repairs on the spur tracks out on Northwest 12th Street, just north of the airport entrance. That has been a slow process, but that's on my list of things to do. I don't have anything else railroad related.
Okay.
To answer any questions.
Roger, I wasn't aware the Northwest 12th spur is active.
Well, there's two parts to that, Jane.
Okay.
The tracks that parallel Cornhusker Highway and go underneath the road to the airport is Union Pacific, but there are several industry spurs that come off of that and go east.
Yes.
Over under Northwest 12th to those businesses, and it's those over there that need the repair.
Okay,
Okay.
got it. Thank you.
All right, very good, Roger. We'll move on to item 7, report of other matters.
Okay. Just one thing. At the September meeting, the board approved the audit report contingent on there being no other changes. There were no other changes. That report is a final report now. It's been updated and put on the website, and I do have paper copies here for any board members that would like a paper copy. I would also say we got a little behind on updating the financials on the website, and if you go to the RTSD website now, current budget and audits are there up through this year now, all the way back to 2012, I think. But we were a couple years behind on getting those on.
Very good. So then the audit is now official and approved in its final
Yes.
document. Good.
Yep.
We'll move on to item number 8, communications correspondence.
Just have continued to have a few emails and responses to the Highway 2 and the trains. We did have some communication I should have also reported there. BNSF did have an incident along Highway 2 here a week and a half or 2 weeks ago where they had a coupler that broke, and they had 40th, 48th, and 56th and Old Cheney closed from about 9:30 till around 1:30 in the morning, but they stuck with it and got it repaired and got out of there. It was night, so there wasn't a lot of traffic backed up, but they did a good job and got it out there. I was worried to start with that it was a derailment, but unfortunately it was not. So, and then we've had several complaints about the spur crossings on Northwest 16th, which spurs my interest in trying to resurrect a discussion and get Union Pacific back to doing some repair on Lincoln, which has been tough. That's
All
all.
right. Very good. We'll move on to item number 9, proposed 2022 RTSD meeting schedule. And you can see we have 4 dates proposed there, March, these are the first Monday, Roger, or they
Mondays and
rotate?
Tuesdays.
Monday, Tuesdays.
First Monday or Tuesday of each month, that's typical what we've been doing. So putting them out there now for your consideration and, you know, under an emergency, you could change those, but this has been our typical process now for a number of years, giving you advance notice so that you can get these things on your calendars.
Doing it right now.
So, very good. We'll go forward with that unless there is a reason to change. All right. Item number 10, non-agenda items, public comment. Is there anyone here who'd like to make a public comment? Anyone here who would like to bring up something that's not on the agenda? Well, very good.
All right. I will move we adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. Let me just say before we vote, I deeply appreciate the board members' work here. This is an important committee that's in addition to everything you already have on your busy schedule, so thank you for taking the time out to be here. And I feel compelled to express my appreciation to Roger for all he does, this organization, our crossings, the work that gets done in our community isn't replicated everywhere there's a railroad, and this is just due to the tremendous work that Roger does, and I deeply appreciate all you've done. Thank you, my friend. Please call the roll.
Bowers,
Yes.
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. We are adjourned.
Good.